Over the past few months, we've removed the cabin sole, designed and cut out new panels that are not only the new sole, but also a series of hatches for full access to the bilge. We glassed them, faired and sanded them, painted them, cut and applied the cork strips. The last 2 steps for the panels was to finish the seams and install the latches and handles. So it was back to Michigan and back to boat work. The process is pretty straightforward, basically just tape, caulk, smear, and repeat, but like most boat projects, there's a lot of little extras behind the scenes. So let's dive in.
Currently, I am taping up all of the cork as I'm getting ready to apply a caulking between each seam. And then this way I can pull the tape and I don't have to sand the cork as much. And yes, it does take up a lot more tape, but the cork is soft and I'm worried about taking too much material off. So this way I don't have to do as much sanding. And no one really likes to do sanding. Yeah, maybe there's someone, but I don't like to do that much sanding.
So each seam had to be meticulously taped on either side and along the edges where they terminated, on all 5 panels. Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, this is really boring, but hey, this is boat work.
So I taped up the edges, so when I fill the seams with caulk, I get a nice square edge once the tape is pulled off. That way it's not tapered or dripping anywhere. Now any extra will just land on top of the tape and I can peel the tape off. So I'm going to caulk all the seams with a black caulk, so it'll be a nice bright cork color with black seams. So a little different take on a traditional floor or cabin sole in a sailboat, which normally they use teak and holly, and the teak is darker and then the holly is like a white wood color. So we're going to use cork because it's a little bit softer and it's a renewable resource, but also it's different, and I do enjoy doing stuff slightly different than most people. And then we're going to use from Teak Decking Systems, it's a SIS 440. So based on the reviews I saw and from what they recommended is you cut the tip open, but then you smash it so that it's a little bit narrower so it fits in the seams better. Then you want to make sure that it gets all the way down to the bottom so you get good adhesion. Really designed for like a teak deck on the top of a sailboat. So it should have no issues working for this. I've never used it. I'm hoping it works really good. All the reviews say it's an amazing product. So yeah, I'm gonna start on this small panel and we'll see how it goes, and hopefully I can get all the rest of them done today. And then when I come back from my work trip, I should be able to start installing latches inside, like through the cork and through the panel.
Now are you ready for something truly satisfying? Yeah, that's the good stuff.
I feel so good when you're making my day. I feel so high when I'm flying away.
this really highlights why Phillip used tape. There wasn't another option. Plus, I get to share this with you. Honestly, I think I can hear the angels singing already. I mean, how sexy is that? I think I'm going to cry when this gets installed.
Alright, so this is the biggest panel, but it's going in and give you a little better view of what it actually looks like. The black seams just make it just looks so much better. Yeah, the cork looks really nice. I'm super happy with how it's turning out. So now this takes a long time to cure. From what I read, it's like 8 days, 10 days. And so I've got a work trip, which is actually, for this point, kind of fortuitous because I'll get to not be here and not be tempted to try to sand it until afterwards. So I'll have to go through and sand the edges and knock down any high spots. I'm guessing that it's a little bit higher because of the tape, and then the edges also have stuff sticking out past the ends.
After finishing the caulk, there was one last thing to do on the hatches, and that was to install the hardware. We opted for stainless slam latches, and when I say we, I mean Phillip did hours of research and scouring the internet to find the best solution. Here he is drilling into one of the 2 hatches that are going to be in the galley. These 2 hatches in the galley are going to be Kiwi Grip non-skid instead of the Cork. The Kiwi Grip is a little bit more wear resistant, less prone to staining, and it's not so much of an issue if it's constantly wet, and this part of the boat will see the most abuse.
So for our boat, all of these hatches or floor panels, whatever you want to call them, are going to be removable. So you have a like slam latch type latch. As you pick up, it pulls the mechanism in. So I'm drilling holes in some of, well, this is the only panel I have here that I can drill a hole, as I just was working on caulking the other ones. Eventually I'll put these in. Alright, so this is the slam latch I'm going to install. It comes with a backing plate and then some screws to hold it all together. I will have to redo the surface, but I just kind of want to see how it all will look. So there's the slam latch. Here you can see the core sample. You can see the honeycomb, and there's a skin layer, another skin layer, and then the cork and the seam sealant fully sealed on the top. I recently caulked all of the seams and then I went on a work trip. I'm back. The seams are fully cured. They did shrink a little bit as it cured, which means they're all a little bit like indented slightly, but actually it's not bad. And it does provide like a little bit of grip, texturing grip, when you kind of put your foot sideways into it. So all these panels are going to be positively, like mechanically, like locked down. So these are the latches that we bought. They're a little, this pulls up, it pulls it back, and that's the latch. They're really designed for about a 1/2 inch thick, maybe a little bit thicker panel. And then this catches on a piece of steel or like a protrusion and holds it down. But the panel with the cork on it, it's too thick to really work. So the solution is to actually create a recess for this entire like face to go into. So on this one, I routed around and created the pocket. That way when this sits out the bottom, there's a gap that the fiberglass piece that we're going to put on will latch onto and provide positive locking so the boards, all the floorboards stay in place in rough weather. Hopefully we never have issues where they would even float over, or if we like rolled or something, which I don't ever want to think about, but then they should stay in place. So we drilled the hole for, it's a 2-inch hole for this to fit in, and then this is about 2 3/8, just a little bit bigger. So I drilled a 2 3/8 hole, and then I opened it up a little bit in a scrap piece of wood. And I made sure that this is the spacing from the center edge to the center is the same as these, so then I can line it up with the edge, clamp it on, and then I can use a router with a patterning bit, and so then I can come down the depth I need to, and it creates the same size circle. And then this can press down inside like this, and so it's a little bit sub-flush, but then it's in there. You're not going to stub your toe on it. It still looks really nice, and then there's a gap to catch and hold it down on the bottom instead of being right flush to the bottom. So yeah, I've got to finish using my jig to router the pockets on all the rest of the panels. Otherwise, I'm kind of done on this project till the weather gets a little bit warmer and I can do fiberglass on the boat again.